everyone, and welcome to my second official video on Jainism. So, I use the word God a lot. It's not something I do consciously. In the culture that we grow up in, it's pretty common to just say God or oh my God or something. I use that word a lot. The iconography of God is everywhere. Honestly, Christianity surrounds me. Not that that's a bad thing, it's just reality. And I've grown up with it, and it affects the way I talk. However, I am a Jain, and I don't believe in God. In my last video on Jainism, I referred to the idols that I worship as gods because I didn't really have another term for it in English. I could keep using the term enlightened ones, but that doesn't really encompass all that a Tirthankar is and means to Jains. A Tirthankar, as I said in my last video, is one who has attained nirvana or moksha. That means that they have ended the cycle of birth and rebirth and are now just living forever in heaven. Again, I'm using Western terms that don't really mean what they mean, but they are in the state of moksha, which means that they have ended the cycle of birth and rebirth and are just kind of existing pleasantly. Another important aspect of a Tirthankar is that they have achieved Kevalgnan, which means omniscience. However, an Arihant and a Siddh are also both of these things. They also have attained Kevalgnan and have also attained moksha. The main thing that separates a Tirthankar from an Arihant or Siddh is the fact that they have achieved this thing called the Tirthankar Nam Gotra Karma in a previous life. This basically means that they have a visa to become a Tirthankar. It means that they did something so good that the karma has, that it's pretty much written in stone that they are going to become a Tirthankar in a future life. The thing with Tirthankars is that there can only be 24 at a time. I call these 24 Tirthankars gods because they are the idols that I worship and because they are #goals. However, the Western definition of God is a being that is all-knowing and all-doing, and this is not a Tirthankar at all. In Christianity and other monotheistic Western religions, from what I know, capital G, God, controls and dictates your life, pretty much. To varying levels, I know. But God creates and God destroys, and depending on your philosophy, controls your actions. That's pretty much what God is conceived of being in the Western world, the world in which I was raised. In Jainism, this is not the case, though. The 24 Tirthankars were once just like us. They lived many lives, some human, some otherwise. They made mistakes and paid for them. They attained nirvana and became role models for Jains to follow. In Jainism, the only person that controls your actions is you and your soul. If something bad happens to you, that's because in a previous life, or maybe even in this life, you did something equally as bad, and the action equalizes this. If something good happens to you, that's because you did something amazing in a previous life or in this life, and again, it's equalizing. In Western religion, God created the universe, but in Jainism, no God was part of this act, because according to Jainism, the universe always existed and will always continue to exist. There was no creating about it. Basically, in all of existence, there's no God acting here. It's just you and your soul and others and their souls and how they interact. That's pretty much it. And because of this, Jainism is an atheistic religion. So I want to apologize for using the word God to refer to Tirthankars when that is not what they are, especially given the Western definition of the term God. Personally, I use Bhagwan, the term Bhagwan, to mean Tirthankars, or just like, I hope that answered the question about why I use the term God and if Jains believe in God or not. If you have more questions on Jainism, you can watch my previous video right here. And if you have any more questions, feel free to leave a comment down below, and I might just make a video on it, if not just reply to your comment. I also made a slightly more personal video on my experience with Jainism, or a little experience I've had with Jainism, right here if you want to watch that. I would also like to take a moment right now to thank you so much for all of the love, support, and interesting discussion you guys have provided after my last Jainism video. It's people like you that makes making YouTube videos worth it. I just want to thank you guys for being polite about the mistakes I've made. I know I have a lot to learn, and I know that my version of Jainism might not be your version of Jainism if you are Jain, and I love the discussion that came out of it. I was so nervous about making that last video, and I'm still pretty nervous about making videos on religion. Once that video came out, I was wondering why on earth I was nervous in the first place. It just makes me so happy because I love talking about this, and the fact that you guys respond in kind, it just gives me hope in the world. It makes me so happy. If you guys didn't know, I'm creating something new every single day in May, or trying to, so if you want to see some non-Jain hijinks, feel free to subscribe. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something interesting about a religion that is atheistic somehow. I know a lot of people have a hard time coming to grips with the fact that it's a religion, but it's also atheistic, but that's my religion. It's pretty cool. Okay, I will see you guys next time. Bye.